Shalom, Israel. All praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem and Mashiach Yahweh Shah. On today's Sabbath class, we got today, it's going to be 4 in 1 hour. It's continued from the time I did a couple of weeks ago. So we're just going to continue going on with prophecy. Some of these things that's going on in the last days and things that are coming out, things that happened and coming for us to come. Did you have some of those videos? We're going to start out the first one. We're going to kind of recap a little bit, but not much, and then go into it. 1 Corinthians 14 to 38.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 14 and verse 38. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Wherefore, brethren, covet to prophesy, and forbid not to speak with tongues. Let all things be done decently and in order.
He said, first of all, we got to be, hey, man, if any man be ignorant, so a lot of times, man, you can tell people these things, man, they just won't listen. A lot of people comfortable in this world, and they think that everything is all right, and everything look good. The clouds look good, it's pretty outside. That'll be the day he comes. And won't nobody be thinking, say, hey, man, if they be ignorant, just let them be ignorant. You continue to get on with keeping these law, statutes, and commandments, because, you know, if you're in the Bible and you looking through these prophecies, you know something going down. Things are going down. It's not going to be a long time from now. Like everybody was always, that's a long, that ain't nice. They don't think it's going to happen. Everybody get comfortable. Oh, yeah. You know, a lot of times when you get comfortable, man, you're not ready for a lot of things. Like when you get comfortable on that couch, boy, something come through that door, you're not ready for it. You got to get up, looking for your house shoes, doing all that stuff. You got to get ready. And if they be ignorant, don't want to hear it, leave them alone. And go on and you continue to do these things. Let's go to Revelation 19 and 10.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship God. For the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
See, when you got the thing about it, when you keeping these law, statutes, commandments, and you believing in Yahushua, with the faith in Yahushua, then you therefore puts you in the spirit of prophecy. Therefore puts you to guide you right back to the Bible, so you can learn about the thing. This is the best newspaper in the world, y'all. Yeah, but what's that movie with that dude? He used to carry that newspaper, and he always foreseen what was gonna come. It's an old movie. Y'all remember that movie?
It ain't to my Groundhog Day.
No. It's an old TV show. And he would always be open up that paper, and he would find out what's going on in the future all the time. Well, this is that. This Bible is just that. You can open it up and figure out what's going on tomorrow, what's coming up, and the things that are about to happen. Let's go to Revelation 18 and 4.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive none of her plagues.
You receive none of her plagues. He said, and then we ain't talking about, see, everybody think this, the COVID. The COVID ain't gotten, better yet, let's go to Zechariah 14 and 12. Let's see if this, would you rather have COVID or would you rather have this? He said, come out of her, my people. He said, man, because you don't want to be partakers in her plagues. You don't want to be partakers. You don't want to have, man, you don't want to have to take what's finna happen to America. You don't want to be a part of that. I know we American. I'm American now. I'm all American. No, you don't want to be a part of that. Go ahead.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
That what?
that fought against Jerusalem.
Now, the fact of the matter is, it said, come out of her. You know, so you won't be a partakers of her plagues. Now, the Lord said he going to fight and come against all the nations that came against us. So why would you want to be on the side of the people who was destroying you in the first place? Makes no sense. But our people will do it, though. They will do it. Going to do it. Going to be on the side. Well, why America? Like the brother was just saying, how can the white man can't make it? That used to confuse me all the time when I was growing up. How these wicked people going to be the same people that we going to be sitting right in here? That ain't going to be no fun. Because that means he going to do the same thing again. Want to run everything. Go ahead, though.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
Say what?
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
He said their flesh going to consume away while they stand upon their feet. Get that video. You know which one I'm talking about. He said they flesh. And we ain't talking that now. A whole lot of COVID cases. A whole lot of people have been claimed to be dead from COVID, right? Even though that was a lie, because they would get paid if you claimed that they died of COVID. Told you, man that died had a motorcycle wreck and he died of COVID. How you died of COVID? Man, in 17 different parts. But the fact of the matter, he said, their flesh shall consume away while they stand up on their feet. While they stand up on their feet. Now, would you rather have COVID? Or would you rather have this plague? I bet y'all will be begging for some COVID right about now, huh? Well, y'all be having that damn straw all up your nose. I hope I have COVID before you take this plague. That's yo. He said, read that again. I want y'all to listen to that very careful.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
Man, they tongue, boy. Now which plague would y'all rather have? Bet you want some COVID now, huh? You take them all. Delta, Omicron, or this plague right here. Would you take this? This one you want? Just as in the days of Noah, everybody's having fun. It's a regular day. Ain't nobody thinking about nothing. People getting married. My wedding day. This is my day. Yeah, it's your day. That's us trying to warn the people. They ain't trying to listen. That's exactly how they are, too. That's right. That plague. So the COVID-19 don't seem that bad no more, huh? I'll take them all. A through Z. Omicron, Omega, whatever else y'all got, I'll take all that before I take that. See, well, everybody thinking it's a plague. What? The COVID, that ain't that. Okay. That ain't the plague we talking about. Read that again, huh? And then just keep going.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that are fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet.
They were standing on their feet, wasn't it? Their flesh is gone. Go ahead.
And their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Eyes just melted. You thought you had good vision. I got 20/20. Not no more.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
That's for running your mouth all the time. That's going to be gone. You ain't going to be able to tell nobody. You know what happened? It's gone. Gone. Go ahead.
Verse 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that a great tumult from the Lord shall be among them,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall lay hold, every one on the hand of his neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
and his hand shall rise up against the hand of his neighbor.
Uh-huh.
And Judah also shall fight at Jerusalem.
He said, and they're going to come together to come against us. And we ain't, think about it. Why would they come against us? For a couple of AKs that we got, a couple of gangster Negroes, why would they go bring an army against us? We ain't got nothing. Because they know prophecy. They know who the children of Israel are. But that's what he said. That's something we ain't got to fear. And it's going to be a scary thing. See, it's going to be a scary thing. It ain't going to be nothing. It ain't going to, see, everybody got this little, we get to the point we look like, we picture in our mind like TV. No, man, it's going to be real. Think about it. Look at them people over there dealing with the military right now. Imagine the military, United States, the strongest military in the world, gather with the other nations to come against us. Little old us. Little old us. Yeah, this is what y'all done got into. But this is something that he said, we ain't supposed to be afraid of that, though. Because we're supposed to be what? Occupied in what? Occupied in what?
Prophecy.
Prophecy. Because we should know what's going to be coming.
You get a precept out.
Here we go.
Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 22. Because Ezekiel was hitting on the same thing, but he was concerning God and made God. But these things is hitting on the same thing. What I was saying, because they not only got a problem with us, they got a problem with Christ. They got a problem with the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
and they got a problem with the nation of Israel. So these things right here, like you say, it hit one and the same. You get down and read.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I will rain upon him and upon his bands.
And now the band's going into their military.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I'm going to rain upon him and his band. Read.
And upon the many people that are with him.
Uh-huh.
And overflowing rain.
And overflowing rain. This is going into nuclear destruction. And all these bombs that's going to get over here, man. Read.
And great hailstones, fire, and brimstone.
So because these are the things that the Most High God said he's going to bring to the nation, man. Bring to the world. But guess what? Like you say, going against Israel. Trying to keep us in sin, man. Not letting us get back into our state. Right? Read.
Verse 23, thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Mm-hmm. All praise, man. I like that, because we're going to get into that scripture right there. Y'all keep that in mind. But yeah, we're going to come back to that one, because it's got everything to do with what we're going to go into. We'll mark that right here. Because he brought that out, man, and that's what he's saying. Look, man, this is not going to be no pretty thing. Where's that one where one of the prophets was like, man, I don't even want to see that day. Get that for me right quick. Because everybody, this ain't no joke. See, them people in Ukraine didn't realize what war was till war fell upon their head. Now, I looked at some of them cities, they had city parks look better than America areas, man. I was like, boy, they showed the before picture and they showed the after picture. And them little mediocre bombs they throwing over there, they ain't no throwing darts right now. They ain't throwing no heavy hitters, man. Because Russia got stuff that can take out a city right now. Russia got that what's name can turn all our electric that blow up over Texas and take everybody's electricity off. State of Texas. Gone. Ain't no, you won't be able to drive your car. You won't be able to pick up your phone. You won't be able to turn on no TV. You won't hear no news. Just like that. So they got the capability. But like I said, the Most High, finna bring it down, man. It's going down, for real. It's going down. Go ahead.
This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 3 and verse 16. When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones.
See, now, Habakkuk's talking about when he heard about the last days, this destruction that's going to come. So they hadn't even, he don't even know how to envision this. When he came into his vision, he can't imagine it. See, they ain't never seen a cloud roll up. That's why they were saying it was like a big scroll. But we know what they look like. So now we can tell, oh, this is going to be very, very big. Go ahead.
When I heard, my belly trembled, my lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, that I might rest in the day of trouble.
You said what?
That I might rest in the day of trouble.
So he don't even want to be here. Just leave me dead until this all passed. Then just get me up out there. Go. He said, I would have been resting in the day of trouble, meaning I don't even want to be on the planet when that goes down. I don't want to be here. I want to be in my rest, being dead, sleep. I'd rather be in my sleep than to be here around when this happens. And he probably still around. Habakkuk will probably come back. He probably here right now. Go, you finished? Go ahead.
When he cometh unto the people, up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops.
He what?
He will invade them with his troops.
He said when they come upon the people, he's going to invade them with his troops. The Most High got our back. So we got to be lined up with the Most High. That's how, man, I mean, man, you got to be lined up to be on the right team. You got to be lined up to be on that right team.
Get another account, man. The Edges, man. Edges saying the same thing. Second Edges 13-10.
Like I said, brothers got to know these precepts too, man. Especially when we out there on the streets, precept to put on precept, man, so brothers can bring this thing out to show that this is a serious matter, man. Line these things up. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 10. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
So they said all this was sent upon the multitude, the blast of fire, the tempest, those that wanted to come against the children of Israel, right? Read on.
And burned them up, every one, so that upon a certain of innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived.
They said it burned them up to where you couldn't perceive nothing of who they were, where they was coming from, what kind of style they had, the clothes they used to wear, nothing.
But only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
Like Rebecca say, he wanted to rest in that day. And Edris say, I'm getting an understanding. You know, Edris, he asked a lot of tough questions, man. Edris did, man. I'm getting an understanding of, I don't want to be here either.
That's right.
He gets scared just hearing.
Yeah,
He gets scared just hearing it from the angel.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that. Mark that scripture because we're going to get in all that. All he's referring to this whole lesson. Both of them gave two great ones. Two great ones. I want y'all to make sure because you're going to hear this again. These same accounts going on. That's what I said, man. I remember they always telling, "Now you can't read Revelation. That's too scary." It's scary to those that ain't doing what God say. I can imagine. But if you in this truth and doing everything you can to keep these laws, statutes, commandments, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Let's go back to Zechariah. Did we finish that out? What did we start at? 14. Yeah, let's see. Keep reading on to 15. Okay, let's go to Isaiah 48:20.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48 and verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans.
Flee, that's what it was telling us to what in 18:4. Come out of her.
What's the other precepts? There's one more precept that we always bring out. You got Revelations 18:4, Isaiah chapter 48 verse 20. What's the other precept, brother?
Was Isaiah 41:8?
Got Jeremiah 51:6. Flee from the midst of Babylon. So y'all had them 3 precepts. Them is 3 witnesses right there, so the matter can be established.
Jeremiah
51:6. We'll get that one after this.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, and verse 20. Go ye forth of Babylon, flee ye from the Chaldeans. With a voice of singing declare ye, tell this, utter it, even to the end of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Say ye, the Lord hath redeemed his servant Jacob.
He said, go ye forth out of Babylon. That don't mean run now. Everybody, ain't no plane finna take you out of Babylon. Because guess where who runs? When you can go overseas. Edomites run now. But I'm gonna go to Africa. But who you think running Africa? The whole South Africa is by the Edomite government. So it ain't talking about just get up and take off. I ain't telling y'all right now that I'm gonna go get a passport. It's not what we at. It's not what we saying. Saying come out of her ways, man.
That's why Passover is very important and very symbolic. Because like I said, we want that same thing to do what? That danger to pass over us in this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to be doing what? Doing the things that the Most High God have told us in the commandments. You know, back then it was carnal. Like we say, we planted the blood over the door. Now, guess what? That thing is spiritual because guess what? We plant the commandments on our door, which is our body.
Yep, and we gonna show the Passover on that too when this time happens. We gonna get into that too. We gonna get into that. Like I told y'all, we gonna get a little bit of meat today, just a little, just some prophecies.
If brothers got enough room, man, y'all write them precepts down, man.
And, yeah, definitely.
In your Bible. It's okay to write in your Bible. Don't listen to Pastor Porkchop. No, don't write in my Bible. I can't write. Brother, you can write in your Bible. That's how you be quick on the precepts when you out there at camp.
Because it's right there. You ain't even got to think. You got it right there in your Bible. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts.
Mm-hmm.
He caused the waters to flow out of the rock
Mm-hmm.
for them.
Mm-hmm.
He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out.
Uh-huh.
There is no peace, saith the Lord, unto the wicked.
And he said, there ain't no peace unto the wicked. But you understand, read that again in 21.
Verse 21, and they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts.
Why do you think the Most High always, one thing y'all got to understand through this whole Bible, he even said in the New Kingdom, we ain't going to talk about Egypt no more. Because we're going to be talking about what was going on in where? This Babylon. So he said, he always reminded us of Egypt. Always. Everything. He's always saying, hey, I took y'all out of Egypt. Hey, I took y'all out of Egypt. He said, bethink yourselves. Remember your days of old. Remember what I did? And that's what he kept on for y'all to do now. That's why he constantly keeps saying, remember, and he's reiterating it again. Look, the way I brought y'all out of Egypt and brought y'all through the Red Sea impossibilities. See, because a lot of times we can't even think that a bomb dropping and it don't hit us.
Let's read that right quick.
Go ahead.
Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 7. Let's start at verse 6. This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 6. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of Egypt, out of the land of Egypt. It says, but the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north countries, and from all countries whither I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So just like Captain Maccabees is saying, this is an account that Jeremiah is writing down, letting you know that even in this time of salvation, it's going to be even greater than what they went through the land of Egypt. To be called up in the chariots. Last time, guess what? We just had the chariots to guide us, but just imagine being called up by a tractor beam from the chariots.
And we gonna get into that too. We definitely gonna get into that. I'm glad. Well, these brothers, man, y'all on the same page for real, man. They bringing out great for themselves. I was like, nah, I can't put that. It's gonna go too. Nah, it's exactly what is going on. Most I said, nah, they need to hear that. Because that right there is what he said, look, man, forget that. That's why he going to keep that in your mind. Right now, that's what we need to be here. Everything he did for us coming out of Egypt. He ain't telling us that for nothing. He's giving you a guide. Look, something to envision. Something that you won't be scared and be, ooh. No, remember I did it for you in Egypt? God dang. You know, hey, let them Christians tell it. Won't he do it? They out there screaming it all day, but boy, as soon as they hear that, oh my God, they gonna be scared like a monkey. They gonna be wondering, what the heck? Our God ain't working. Let's go back to where were we at? Isaiah. No. Go back to 21.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 21. And they thirsted not when he led them through the deserts. He caused the waters to flow out of the rock for them.
Mm-hmm.
He clave the rock also, and the waters gushed out.
Mm-hmm.
There is no peace.
There ain't gonna be no peace. He's not like and Matthew was telling us what? He ain't coming back for no peace. He's not finna go and sit on the merry-go-round talking about. It's not gonna be that type of party. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord unto the wicked.
Unto the who?
Unto the wicked.
Ain't none, man. If you ain't in these truths, man, and keeping these laws, you consider the wicked. And that's what he said in 18:4. Hey man, come out of her. He's serious about that. He's serious about that. Let's go to Revelations 18:5. Y'all can hold Revelation 18, and we're going to be going back and forth through that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven.
Man, what?
For her sins have reached unto heaven.
And man, look. When now you can take pills right now to stop your boy. Man, America is good. Shoot, I know even Sodom and Gomorrah looking at them boy like this. They probably looking at America like, God damn, that's us on steroids. And Sodom and Gomorrah sins reached to heaven. Look what happened to them. He threw fire rocks at them. He gonna throw basketballs at America with flame. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, man, this is hey, go ahead, read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities.
God finally remember her sins, man. Give me hold that, I always use this verse. What is that? 2 Maccabees 6 and 12. What's the first Maccabees? Second Maccabees.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destructions, but for a chastening of our nation.
See, now everything that we going through, yes, we got to go through, because our forefathers one that made the promise with the Most High, we broke it, and we still breaking it, so we got to go through this. But the good thing about it, at least our Father loved us enough to whoop our butt, to get us back in line. See, that's one thing as a child. I remember your mother used to say, that's going to hurt me more than hurt you. A lot of times, that's real to them. Like the Most High didn't want to have to do this to us. That's what he said. I wish all Israel could be saved. But they ain't. Go ahead.
Verse 13. For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time.
He said, but it's a token of his great goodness when wicked doers are not suffered for a long time. See, it's going to take a minute. See, they don't get theirs yet. He gonna wait. He letting it pile up so much, man. Imagine if you had a 1 inch, sin is 1 inch thick, and it done went. He waited till that 1 inch thick get all the way up to heaven before he coming back and doing something again. Now he's here. It's up here. It done went all the way up here. I'm gonna let it reach all the way up. But see, he didn't even let y'all get up there. He was knocking y'all down, whoop your knees, put them back in there, get right. We get right for a second. I have to whoop him again. But he never let ours build up. Go ahead.
But that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Mm-hmm.
For it is a token of his great goodness, when wicked doers are not suffered any long time, but forthwith punished.
They forthwith punished. They ain't got punished yet. See, y'all done at least y'all, if you turn around, y'all got some whips on your back. These other nations back just pretty. They ain't got a pimple on it yet. Go ahead.
Verse 14, not as with other nations, whom the Lord patiently forbear to punish.
He said he patiently forbear to punish. Patiently. I ain't gonna let him go. And we up here like, God, when you gonna do it? Man. Go ahead.
Till they become to the fullness of their sins. So dealeth he with us.
He with us. So he dealing with us. He letting theirs build up. And that's what he said when we get back to 5. Go back to 5. 18 and 5.
And it's also what? Most High God is giving brothers and sisters a time to get their spirit right.
Grace. That grace. That grace. Because he said, hey, put it this way. If you don't get your spirit right, all that time you was getting your butt whooped ain't going to mean nothing. Because now your sin is going to be just as equal as them that's built for all this way up that he waiting to let it go, let it go, let it go. Until, so he's saying in 18 and 4, what? Come out of them. Don't be partakers in the plague that I'm going to get. We ain't talking about no COVID, right? Go ahead.
Let me get this precept real quick.
Right.
Let me get 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. Because even like Ak is going into, we know judgment starts at the house of Israel.
There you go. Exactly.
Judgment starts at the house of Israel. We held in higher standards. Because what? The Most High God is only dealing with us. He only gave his commandments to us. So we'll be in more of the judgment. This is the book of 1 Peter. Yeah, go ahead.
1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of God.
Hey, the house of God is going into the Israelites. We're the only nation that can be called the house of God.
Mm-hmm.
Every nation is not called the house of God, man. Read on.
And if it first began in us,
Us is a personal pronoun showing possession. Read on up.
what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God?
So if we done got judged in this way, what you think gonna happen to the other nations, man? That's been, guess what, oppressing us as a nation of people. That's been telling us don't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. That support abortion. That support divorce among our nation. That support all these things that keep us on the bottom. Read on up.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
Read that again.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
We know that the righteous is what? What is righteousness, Brother Solomon? Solomon. First got to be quick on that trigger, man. What you got, Courtney?
625.
All praise. You didn't hear me, Brother Solomon?
Yeah, I heard.
Read that again, huh?
And if the righteous scarcely be saved.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved, meaning what? The righteous barely gonna make it out. Man, I'm talking about boy by the hair of their chin. Barely. Read on up.
Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
He says, so if they gonna barely make it, where the righteous and the sinner gonna appear at? They ain't gonna have no place, man. Go ahead, huh?
Yeah. And another thing, when he do clean out the house, when he start with Israel first, what you think the other nations really gonna feel? Ooh, he did that to his own people? And that's their daddy. What you think he finna be doing to the people who was messing with his son? And you don't want to get this whooping all these years and then turn around and get the whooping with the people who were beating you up. That wouldn't make no sense. That would be horrible, wouldn't it? That would be not good at all, man. So let's go back.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works.
Man, because it's going to get double what, think about that. Double what we all got. There ain't no reason y'all going to get this whooping all your life and then turn around and go get it doubled up again. Because you want to be still partake in the American ways. Don't want to come out to sin. I mean, you got to go through this stuff. Double what your ancestors went through. Double what you think you're going through now. Double it up.
And that's why, like I say, that's where you get the millennial reign from, like the brother. He bringing it out, but you really didn't know what it's going into. Where the nation's going to be in captivity for 1,000 years. I would say we was approximately over here about that time, a little more than that. You know, the Most High God is not going to play any games with it. You know, that's where you get Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4 going into. You know, as a little side note, brothers can put that thing down.
Good.
Verse 6, reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double, according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her double.
Mm-hmm.
How much has she glorified herself?
How much has she glorified? Boy, I watch the news all the time. I listen to it all the time. That's one thing, even just regular local news. Well, one thing about I hate that. I be watching them for the weather and the traffic. And at the end of it, watch it in the morning. Channel 5, 4, 8, 11, CBS, MSN, all of them do the same thing. They always got this white person story at the end. And they just so great. Can't nobody be greater than a white girl selling lemonade. I mean, they make that so glorious. But as soon as a little black girl get out there and start selling it, they want to call the health department. She ain't got no license. They just that they like that said. They like this said, man, they glorify themselves so much no matter what. They think they, and then I be hearing the black pastor, what's that black pastor? I hope you find that video. He said, black man ain't never did nothing. We ain't produced nothing. When he done, when I say that dude is the dumbest pastor I know. If everybody in that church should have got up and walked out after that. When he don't realize we done produced everything these white folks is loving. Except for the wickedness. They can produce, white folks good at producing, they can do some wicked stuff. They can make some bad guns, boy. Bombs and stuff, all that, they good with that. That ain't even our cup of tea. We make stuff that's useful, air conditioning. You know what I'm saying? We make stuff that we make it easy.
Combine.
All that. I'm not gonna pick the cotton no more. Guess what, boss? I built the machine called the cotton gin. How about that? Look, we can pick all of it in one day. I'm like, yeah, okay, nigga.
And you just thinking of something else.
Work in, man.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We gonna make things comfortable. It's tired of sitting at this stop sign, one car after another car after another car. Make a street light. Better yet, I'm tired of riding this horse. Better make a car. But we ain't produced nothing.
Look, they said, well, these wheelchairs, these people in the wheelchairs, it's hard for them to get off the curb. Let's make them a ramp.
Everything, man. Well, y'all better look yourselves up. Y'all minds like that. We just been in docile. We just be docile, lazy now. We thinking, oh, we got to go to their school to learn something. No, your mind works. Your mind works. I done seen Negro do some amazing stuff, boy, without much of nothing. You done seen it? You done seen it? Look at it's a car. Boy, I done seen it's a car trash person stuff supposed to be on a diesel. Them son of a got it on a Toyota. Coming down the highway. You be like, man, how in the world did he make that happen? Because that's us, man. We gonna make it work. That's what your mind is made for. But they make you think you dumb. Oh, yeah, niggas don't know. And we be saying the same thing. You niggas don't know right after.
That's what they say though, because like the Most High give you these qualities about yourself, but they say it all the time. If you don't use your what lose.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been using our minds enough to even think that we can think on our own, or what be on our own, what have our own nation, what guide our own children, what have our own families and households and classes and things. We haven't been taught like that, so we don't even think like that no more. It's like I used to sing like Luke, big Luke. Now I'm gonna sing like Keith Sweat. Well, little Luke, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but see, you know, I used to get there, you know what I'm saying? Where you wanted to go, yeah. But when you don't use it though, you'll lose it.
Mm-hmm. You got that?
Verse 7.
Yeah.
The book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 7. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously.
Boy. Me and Jeremiah talk about this all the time. He always out on the road out far. I'm always out far. And we'll be calling each other, man. We be passing these houses. Like, boy, you white people live deliciously, like the Bible say. Boy, they be out there, man. Go out, man. Get out of Dallas sometime, man. And you stay in Dallas.
Go to
You ain't gotta go to Highland Park. You go right there on what is that? Just right off of
Bishop Heights.
God dang it, what is the name of that street? Northwest Highway and the other one after that was Royal Lane. All that right there. Go down there. Man, I know a dude I went to go do his grand ball. Man, mother, they sent me to that house. Time to go measure his yard. This nigga got 5 holes of golf in the backyard. Talking about doing his grass. This is right off the highway, right off of what's name, right that first house when you exit on Royal Lane. When you go on the east side, west side, that first house, that man got 5 holes. This is just him playing around. 5 look like, man. I said, this is crazy, bro. And me and Jeremiah, we call it, tell him, man, look how he live delicious. I mean, they don't just live in the country. They live in the country. Then they got the country. I mean, they got cow. But I got pictures on my phone. I took it. I told him, Negro got buffaloes right here.
No. This dang Edomite got a runway in the front yard.
Oh, and in the backyard.
On a landing strip.
What is that? Granberry, pecan garden, off of Lake Dallas right here also. I used to remember when I first got there, I remember like, man, they got their garage bigger than their house. I didn't know what was in the garage. They got claims.
But guess what? But then they tell us that we want to bring the dope over here.
Right.
He got a whole airplane in this yard.
Yeah.
Who you think bringing it over here? They got a whole airplane. Come on, man, stop playing the game.
Yeah, I was working at that doing that inspection on the Cleveland airport, and we had the runway closed down, so we was only using one runway. And I was sitting out there like, what is that dude standing out there? About 3 or 4 of them. Man, don't you know this mother sitting out there, man? The dude come down in the plane. Yeah, I'm laying on the runway, drive over here. They got their bag. They get it there like somebody just picked them up in the car. And go and took off again. I said, man, what is this? So, nigga, we can't get a ride. We barely can't get an Uber.
That nigga take me to the store. Nigga, take me to the store.
Listen, somebody just came and picked up in the plane. You can't tell me that was on record. They living deliciously, man. Go ahead.
Verse 7. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her.
Man, so much. Definitely give it to her.
For she said in her heart, I sit a queen,
Mm-hmm.
and am no widow,
Mm-hmm.
and shall see no sorrow.
You know what's funny about that? She said, I sit a queen and am no widow. But it's talking about America. But guess who else done this? Guess who else? Queen of England. Even though she had a king, he couldn't even be king. When my wife had told me that, I didn't even know that woman was married to another man that was not considered a boy.
Let me get that precept on. Let me go to Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 7. But just like I was saying, they think that these things are going to continue forever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another little key word, brother. Precept
Y'all should know that one already.
You know, Isaiah 47 and 7. Read that out.
Isaiah chapter 47 verse 7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever.
So she thinking this. Even Isaiah prophesied about this, man. This was thousands of years before America stepped on the scene. Isaiah was in the Assyrian captivity. So it was way before America was even thought about. Read on up.
And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever.
Uh-huh.
So that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart.
Read on up.
Neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Neither did they remember the latter end of it. Read on up.
Verse 8. Therefore, hear now this. Thou that art given shall I given to pleasure.
It says, thou that are given to pleasures, meaning what? The powerfulest nation, the most strongest nation. Those are her pleasures, to be able to control and dominate everything. You got Chinese people wearing suits over there. They no longer wear their clothing and so forth. They take on the customs of America. Read on up.
That dwelleth carelessly.
That dwelleth carelessly, meaning what? They're not worried about people invading. They're not like Ukraine and so forth, because they know they have the military might and the economic might to be able to fight off any other nation. Read on up.
That says in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
It said that said in their heart, I am, meaning what? Thinking that they are God. Read on up.
I shall not sit as a widow.
It ain't not going to sit as a widow or what they thinking. Read on up.
Neither shall I know the loss of children.
Meaning what? The people that are in ally or in league with her. Read on up.
Verse 9, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment.
In a what?
In a moment.
Read on up.
In one day.
In what?
In one day.
Read on up.
The loss of children.
Read on.
And widowhood.
Read on.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries.
And it says, and they shall come upon them in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries. Just think about it. You know, everybody got that image of Sebo, but the Bible says that Christ looked this way. That's some strong sorcery for our people, man, to actually believe Christ is a white man when the Bible says that he's a black man. When the Bible says that the angels are black. But you got, like I said, got the little Gerber babies running around here like thinking that they the angels, Cupids and so forth. No, give us a description that say that. But that's what people are, like we say, that's sorcery. Plagues our people with that thing. Read on up.
And for the great abundance of thine enchantment.
And enchantments, meaning what? Using even more sorceries on people. Saying that what? God's laws is done away with. That's an enchantment, man. Once you say it over and over so long, people start to what? They start to believe that thing, man. Go ahead,
Hold on, we'll get another precept.
And let me break a little bit before you go ahead and get there, but I just want to hear. When he said, they neither did they remember the latter end of it. They didn't even see. They done forgot about when they failed. They like forget that. They done built up. They like that dude that get out of penitentiary and thinking, this time he's not gonna stop. Guess what he doing? I'm gonna sell dope better this time. But guess what? Well, guess what happens to him still? Still go back. Go ahead. What you have?
And then on that, like you said, on that last end, on the enchantment, y'all should, what's the precept on the enchantment about Israel? Because we need to have this too, especially when brothers be out here on the streets, man. Go to Numbers chapter 23, verse 23. We should have these things should be written down in your arsenal, man. To make sure that, guess what, when somebody coming up in there and they start, they want to bring out some kind of enchantment, I'm doing this, they want to curse us or whatever.
Yeah,
guess
no,
what? We need to make sure we have it.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 23 and verse 23. Surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what had God wrought?
So we need to, like you say, we need to make sure we have this, especially about they going into these enchantments. Knowing if you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, these enchantments, like you say, won't come to you. With Ak was reading Isaiah chapter 47, right? Go ahead, Ak.
What's it, number 23?
23.
Oh, praise. Oh, praise. Everybody started to see this picture come together, not by me, but you see the brothers putting out the precept that's knocking this out. Can't y'all see prophecy in this Bible? Should be able to. If you can't, you're blind. Let's go where were we at?
Book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 7. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall plagues come in one day.
In what?
In one day.
That's what the brother brought out earlier. Exactly the same, exact same thing. Yeah, that's what it was. They're saying the same thing. See, they don't think it's gonna happen, but if you believe like what this Bible says, you can't be a part of America. It said in one day. In one day, tomorrow. Tomorrow could be just tomorrow. One day could be today. It ain't gonna take long. See, everybody think it's gonna be this drawn out process. Nope. Go ahead.
Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
And she shall be what?
Shall be utterly burned with fire.
Uh-huh.
For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
For strong is the Lord God that judges. Read the next one.
Verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
He said, look, the kings of the earth who committed fornication and live deliciously. Think about it. All these nations living delicious around us. The Arabs. You can go over to Urban in the off of Royal Lane in the urban part over there. They got a whole Indian community over there. And they look at you crazy like you. What country you in?
Because we know that they all build their wealth off the backs of us.
Mm-hmm.
I say when you look at the statistics, we're the number one consumers of everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hair products, food, gas. You know, anything that you could think of. Go ahead, Al.
And that's what they done. They done sent all their children to college. The North Koreans, all of them gone to college off of y'all women going to get them hairs. And them nails done. All that they done did everything off of our backs.
And they tell you to hurry up and buy.
Mm-hmm. Hurry up and buy. You buy it. And we should be saying, you die.
There's another precept for that too. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 10 and verse 17. Isaiah prophesied a great deal, like many other prophets did. Just brothers have to spiritually see those things. This is the book of Isaiah. Read that for me, Al.
Isaiah 10 and 17. And the light of Israel shall be for a fire, and his holy one for a flame.
Read on, Al.
And it shall burn and devour his thorns and his briars in one day.
And what, Al?
In one day.
Saying the same thing. This time it's using what? Thorns and briars. Meaning what? Things that bring hurt to our people. A thorn is something that you get, you pluck off the bush, or like our people was picking cotton and so forth. If you wasn't careful, you was pricked by a thorn. That's what these other nations are on our side. They're nothing but thorns and briars on our side. You know, go ahead, Al.
All praises. Let's go back.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Standing.
No, let's stop right there. He said you should see the smoke of her burn. Let's go to James 5 and 1.
I'm going to say, because just think about it, even like I was saying just imagine the Saudi Arabians. Who's going to buy as much oil from them as America do? You know, that intends what? That turns to them being rich. You know, even with China, you know, we are one of the most consumers of China. You know, they gonna come at America, but they gonna be mad too that they ain't getting that money anymore as well.
And that's another thing. Like when it comes to the oil, everybody, boy, we do not buy the most compact cars there is. We buy the most gas guzzling thing there is, and you can't tell us nothing. We gonna if it's burn gas, then we want it. Go ahead. 5 and 1.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5 and verse 1.
You say James or Jeremiah?
James,
Oh, so
James.
James,
What was you say?
Jeremiah.
He's gonna go to a whole nother class.
This is the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries
Mm-hmm.
that shall come upon you.
He said, and then that's talking about them, but it's talking about us too. Because a lot of us done got rich thinking we got it. Basketball players, football players, Floyd Mayweather, all that money. I'm with them. I'm good with them. We good. Ain't giving back to their community. He's saying, and the Most High talking about them too. So I'm just letting you know. Go ahead.
Verse 2. Your riches are corrupted,
Corrupt flow dollar.
and your garments are moth eating.
And what's his name up the street?
Your gold and silver is cankered,
Mm-hmm.
and the rust of them shall be a witness against you,
Mm-hmm.
and shall eat your flesh as it were fire.
He said, the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Your gold. Gold ain't even supposed to rust. They's gonna rust. Go ahead.
And shall eat your flesh as it were fire.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days.
Mm-hmm. You've been heaping. And we know what's good about it. I'm gonna tell y'all, be happy they getting all that gold. Cause we ain't gotta go gathering no more. Cause it's the same way they did when we came up out of Egypt. What happened? We left out that mud with all the gold. They just here. They were so scared, man. They were like, give it to them all, man. Here, take it all, man. That's the same way it's gonna happen here. You got something?
Yeah, let me get a precept real quick. Let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 12 and verse 15. Like we say, to categorize your precepts and so forth, going into money, going into covetousness, because a lot of times money does go into that. Covetousness is the root of those things. And like we say, the root of covetousness we know is lust. Read that out.
Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness.
And do what up?
Take heed and beware of covetousness.
Wanting what somebody else's have. That's a lot of times why a lot of our brothers get murdered out here in the streets. You see it a lot of times. Brother wants your Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Brothers want your car, your rims, and so forth, your stereo system. Read on.
And beware of covetousness. For a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he possessed.
So Christ has given us the understanding it doesn't matter how much things that you have. Your life don't consist of that. You see, I know a lot of times it's a tribute to sisters, they just gotta have. Amazon. Sister, what you need that for? I don't know. I don't know, sister. That's going into covetousness.
Then guess what? Then one day she get mad. It's just too much stuff in it. All the stuff she done bought, now she throwing it away.
For real.
Find out you got 2 of those same things you just ordered last week. Sisters have to check their spirits on those things, man.
Let's get another precept on that covenant.
Hold on, let me jump down right quick. Jump down to verse 20.
Luke 12 and 20. But God said unto him, thou fool.
Thou what?
Thou fool.
Read on up.
This night thy soul shall be required of thee.
Read on up.
Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided?
So Christ was cutting up this man that had a lot of stuff, and he was like, thou fool. Most High God is going to require your soul tonight. So where's all that stuff going to go? Sister just got the Amazon, then she died tomorrow. Like, where the stuff going to go? Not that we don't need those things, but you want to make sure that, guess what, you're not dealing in those things in a covetous spirit. That's the point of it. Go ahead, Up.
Now, I just want them to write that down, that precept, Sirach chapter 10 and verse 9. Make sure y'all hit that precept down beside the covenant. Matter of fact, go on read it right
Yeah,
here.
I was gonna say, go ahead and bring it up.
I know this Maccabees scripture right here, man. We be going to movie stars on this.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Mm-hmm.
For such and one setteth his own soul to sale.
Uh-huh.
Because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels.
So what that mean he did? He gave up the what?
Gave it up.
Just to keep this little old lifestyle going.
And I've been, man, you go on YouTube and go through all this, it's a gay dude who do them the channel, and he go through all of them little dudes, man, believe me. Tyler Perry, LL Cool J, every last one of them, boy, they done bent
Heard
over.
about Puff Daddy.
All of them.
I know even Bun B was talking about it not too long ago.
Yeah, he
said
looks like he has.
Well, he said, I smoke weed. He said, you got a room for the weed smokers, you got the other room for whatever a brother want to do. I'm just putting it out there like that. So you can kind of paint your own picture on what brothers
See,
are doing.
I don't give a damn. I go in the party, walk in one room, I'm done. I'm out the party, man. I don't want to smoke nobody weed up in there. So they no.
Yeah, that's what like another dude was saying. He said, man, before you had to get in the party, they had to grab your stuff.
All that.
A lot of stuff to get in. And then he said, man, no, I'm not doing that. He turned around and he see people walking toward the private party. He thought this was some of the richest people in the world. You know, they going up in there.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to be.
What Carrie Williams say? Say, look, man, sit down. Professor Overbeat.
Yeah. I just saw that too. I just saw that.
Get up out of here, man.
That's that loud. That's that nigga. That's that loud. That's him smell like that. Let's go back. Where were we at?
James chapter 5, verse 3.
Yeah.
This is the book of James, chapter 5 and verse 3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days.
Go ahead.
Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud.
What?
Kept back by fraud.
How come you can't get nothing? How come you can't get nothing? You nigga don't gotta go have a purpose go to go get him a house, boy. Then they want all your money just to get in there. Then they want all your paperwork, your whole history. Man, I remember I signed them papers about that. Boy, that was a... That lady said, yeah, they supposed to give you a check for $5,800 when you do this. Boy, they told me I have to sign all them papers, sign all them papers, sign all them papers, sign all them papers. And all I'm thinking is, they're going to give me that check. Boy, at the end of that signature, they told me to sign that paper. They took that check back. I was like, what the heck? What kind of crap is that? Fraud, man. Fraud, man. I was like, but guess what they do? They getting them money. They giving them houses. They letting that go on. Go ahead.
And you know what? In a lot of times, you know, I was kind of looking at that, you know, just like how people, you know, they get into them, especially like say when a person get into a big nice house. Guess what? Not just the house got you. Guess what? The job got you. Because you know you can't miss work because you know you got to go pay for this. Right? You get all these things. You gonna buy a new car, a new place, because you know you got. Then at the end of the day, guess what? You can't miss. Now the job got you because you know you got to go pay for this. Boy, look, and that's just the same old. That's a cycle that we in, man. Like that's the race that we in. The race that they gave us is that race.
Mm-hmm. And if you do buy something of value, you gotta guess what? You gotta work harder. You gotta to continue to be having that stuff. And Lord forbid if your neighbors go get something else, you be like, God dang. Let me go back to school, get another degree, so I can go get a better job. Gotta keep up with them. So, they living deliciously, you want to live deliciously. No, you better wait. You better come out of it. Go ahead.
And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
And go ahead.
Any brother know what that means? What is the Lord of Sabaoth? I know a lot of times people think it's what? The Lord of the Sabbath. The Lord of Sabaoth. Say it again, Brother Samuel. The Lord of Sabaoth is the Lord of hosts, or the Lord of armies. That's another title for Christ. Verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been wanting. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter.
Mm.
Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you.
Now what this also
Boy, hold on. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just want to read that one more again.
Verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter.
You have they fatten their hearts in the day of slaughter. Go ahead.
Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you.
And he condemned us, and we don't even resist him no more. But boy, that's funny because he resisted the rest. We don't resist no more. We still and they still killing us. Yeah, something else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to kind of touch on this what is gold and silver and all these things are one and the same, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Matthew chapter 6 right quick. We pull this all the time too. Matthew 6 and verse 19. This is a good street precept too, that brothers, man, you got to have in the chamber too. Brother, like, man, y'all ain't got no money. Y'all ain't paid. Guess what? This is the precept you go to. Not a lot of times when people say like this, guess what? How people ain't got money and all this. Guess what? 9 times out of 10, you got more money than them. All the money they got right there and they ain't.
Endure, brother. Endure.
Read that up.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth,
Read.
where moth and rust doth corrupt,
Uh-huh.
and where thieves break through and steal.
Because that's what these treasures right here, like you said, moth and rust come and they, guess what? They corrupt this gold and silver we got, the money we got. You know, brothers be so dang on ignorant. I'm gonna bury my money on the ground. Then they come back a couple months later, the money be mildew. Ain't got no sense, man. Negroes think they can hide something. Man, the Most High God destroy those things, man. That's not laying up no treasure for. Man, I don't know if brothers even know anybody. I know people that done some stupid stuff like them, bury money. Come back now, he hurt. He ready to kill everything now. Damn, fool. Read on now.
Verse 20. But lay up for yourselves treasure in heaven,
He said, live for yourself treasures in heaven, man. Read.
where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt,
Read.
and where thieves do not break through and steal.
So why do you think the Most High God tell us these things? Why? Get one more precept. Haggai chapter 1 and verse 6. This is why he says these things.
And with 21, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Come on. I was going back. But go
Oh,
ahead.
my bad. Jumping guns, brother. False story.
No, baby. You can bring that out. No, I'll pray.
I ain't letting you going back. I don't want to touch that.
He read it now. Read it again. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Read that
For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Hey, come. He said, where your treasure is, where your heart be also, man. Go ahead. Go ahead. Haggai chapter 1 verse 6.
This is the book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 6.
Uh-huh.
Ye have sown much and bring in little.
Because this is our captivity. Because a lot of people think we gonna win, we in captivity. We have so much and we have brought in little. Read.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
We gonna eat and we don't have enough, man. We ain't never have enough. Especially when we looking over there at Esau, he living deliciously and we over here got the crumb. This ain't gonna never be enough for us, man. Guess what? All these everybody look at the NBA player, oh, they make millions of dollars. He just need to shut up and play. But guess what? The owners, they own the company.
Man, boy,
We don't look at that thing though.
teach them out. I used to say that all the time.
We teaching our children what? Hey, let's go be an NBA player. But what about teaching them to be an owner?
Yep.
We don't think. We think like workers. We don't think like the ruling class.
We think like, is Israel a slave?
For real. We don't think like that.
Is Israel a servant?
For real.
That's what we think like that when we supposed to be up here. But they done broke us so bad, boy. We broke, boy. We broke down, man. Our mind, and I just say that all the time. And we be thinking we got crumbs. I mean, we be thinking we got money. And NBA didn't make. I be like, how they keep saying that? He got a salary cap on how much he can make. He can only make so much.
Mm-hmm.
But how come they ain't got no salary cap on the owners?
They don't.
I don't know.
You charging $175 a part. A bowl of nacho costs you $19.50.
A bottle of water cost you $21.50.
I'm talking about then, but ain't nobody got no salary. But them niggas, they can only make this much.
Because then that's how we think. We go to these sports games and we walk up in there. We like, ooh, Bumper, go get me a beer. How much that beer cost? Dang, that's $15. Well, just give me a water. The water costs $8.
You be like,
I'm like, Chris Rock just poured in my head with 15 cents.
one real line, boy. They want you to buy a 12-pack for the price of one of them. And if you get drunk at the game, boy, you got to be living delicious.
You gonna spend about 25.
You gotta be living great, and you be seeing them all the time up there, drunk and all that. You be like, "Man, you spent all that money. You spent a lot of
You
money."
get drunk in here, man.
That's good.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe ye, but there is no warmth.
Read.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
It's us. We leave it, man. They walk up behind us. Guess what? And they the real one that picking up the pieces. We ain't picking up no pieces. We think we making it because we got this bag. Ooh, I got a big bag of money, and there's a little bitty hole in the bottom of it. Drip, drip, drip. Because think of how a check go. Before you get your check, they done took money out your check already before you got it with the taxes. Then when you get your check, first thing you doing, okay. If brothers in the spirit, you should be thinking about your own. Sisters in the spirit, you should be thinking about your own. The second thing you should be thinking about, okay, did I pay my rent? Did I pay my light bill? Did I pay my car note? Did I pay my insurance? Okay, I paid everything. And then you see your son come knocking at the door. Dad, I got this right here to do right here. You're like, dang. Okay, my money gone right here. Okay, you go to the grocery store because you ain't got nothing in the refrigerator. Your money steady depleted, steady going down. Then after all is said and done, next thing you know, you get a ticket in the mail. Oh, you ran a stoplight. You like, God dang. And as you seeing your money steady depleting, going down, and they inching your money all the way, and you can never put enough up.
It comes two ways. Let me read verse 9. Ye look for much, and lo, it came to look. And when you brought it home, I did blow upon it. Meaning that money that you got, you're not putting in work in this truth. The Most High got to blow it right out.
Blow it right out, yeah. Blow it right out. And that's the thing about it, because first, boy, we get that check, boy, we be thinking, I mean, that's just the check, too, boy. We be spending it like we just won a lottery. That's just the check that you worked hard for. And you already, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go do what they doing. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do. Then you turn around, yeah, but you didn't understand. You were spending money, but your bag had a hole in it. So you take it from up here, and it's leaking out at the bottom. You ain't got much, what it's saying.
It says, I did blow upon it. Why, saith the Lord of hosts? Because of mine house that is waste, and ye run every man into his own house. Meaning you care about what you got going on, and you're not caring about what the Lord got going on. So a lot of times he make that money just go right out the door. Like we say, when you're not putting the Lord first in these things. And brothers and sisters know those things. You sit back, you calculate your finances and so forth. Now with the scriptures, you should be able to put that thing together. Because like I said, if you diligent in this thing, the Most High God is going to provide a way.
Yeah, ahead, I'm going to use the law at the end too, because we're going to the law we're going to use is going to cover what we just talked about.
And thinking much like
no, go ahead.
And thinking on how, just like you say, this income tax season, you think on how people get their income tax. Well, I'm talking about big kicking it. Oh, y'all they doing that over there? Oh, I pay for everything. Boy, but guess what? And everybody over there partying hard with you. But when the time for them bills get paid a couple months down the line, you call them, hey man, let me borrow $200, man. Oh man, you know I ain't got it. But guess what? They just kick it off all your big money you just spent with them. They don't give a damn about you. They go there and big kick it with all your music. Boy, he's like, ooh, what? Boy, he did it. Boy, he did that. Boy, that party, he did that. Yeah, you sure did. But when he did that, be in the dark and need that help. Guess what? We gotta start considering these things, man.
Because around income tax, what are those holes in your bag? Oh, you let that car note get up to $1,000. I ain't gonna pay it. I know I get income tax coming. That phone bill done got up now. You got that red bill on the insurance, whatever the case may be. But you know you got this coming. So as soon as it comes, it's like it's gone, right? Like a lot of people can't even flourish or even try to big ball in income tax season because as soon as they get it, you just.
And most like God look at that because he see you, like I say, probably ain't paid on, ain't put in work for the Most High God, so he'll blow right upon that
He
thing.
blew right upon it. Because I used to hear a lot of people every year. I used to laugh. I used to be sitting there listening to stories when they, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this car when the income tax comes. And then income tax comes, they be in the car. Okay. That was one year. The very next year, they say, when this income tax comes, I'm going to get a car. I'm thinking, you just said that last year had a car, and then you need another car this year. I'm talking about, I've literally sat and watched people do that at least 4 to 5 years in a row. Every year, they need another car. Every year, they need another car. Every year, meaning they didn't have no money to fix the car that you got that was right when it went out. So I'm gonna just wait about it. That's how people go. And that's what the Most High doing.
Guess what?
Look right on it.
And we get on the men all the time. We get on the women all the time. But guess what? When y'all children, y'all do the same thing. Man, well, guess what? Let's say we get our income tax with them. What if y'all give people your children a little money? Guess what? They get their little money, $100, $200, whatever you give them. Go what they want to do. Go get some chips. Go get some V-Bucks. What they want. This is our children. We can try to play like this is not happening, but this is a real thing. They want to go get V-Bucks and chips and juice. Guess what? In PlayStation. But you don't know what V-Bucks is. I bet you if you had a little small child, I bet you understand what V-Bucks is.
What is V-Bucks?
You see, I bet you look at all the children's face. I bet you that's one of them. What's the deal? Don't explain to me. That's the deal. What V-Bucks is.
My mom playing for the B99.
No, they don't.
Oh, snap! I'm behind like a motherfucker. Yeah. You must say V-Bucks. Yeah, me low.
Get them
It's
hands,
some Jordan.
I got a Jordan 12
K 12 on the game. Not in real life, but on the game. Got them shades on. What the fuck is that? On the game.
God.
And y'all meet me at the park. Meet me at the park. See how clean I am. On the game.
That's what we do. We get on the men and women, but the children, y'all do the same thing. This thing's never. Guess what, man? That's why it's pivotal for us as parents. We gotta teach them. Hey. You getting into the same pattern that we used to do.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm telling you, if anybody, I be on my board a lot about, hey, I want them to do better than me. You should want your children to do better than you. Guess what, man? That's why you think when King David died, he charged Solomon. He charged him. He ain't begging, please. He charged him.
You gotta do this.
Because he wanted him to do better than he did. And this is what we're supposed to do for our children. We're supposed to charge them, man. Make them understand, man. We got to charge them, man. This is how the Most High God doing us. Guess what? When he bid us, that means command us, man. Yeah. He charging us, man. And we can be held. Guess what? We can be held. When you charge somebody, that means you can be held against these things, man.
And real quick, I don't got to get back into it, but what's the movie? Not The Temptation, but the what? Five Heartbeats. What old boy daddy told me?
You ain't,
because I ain't. That's the trickle down effect that we have. And then guess what? He end up to not be nothing right. Because he's seen that pattern of his father, man. But we got to break those cycles. We got to break those curses. Like we said, we're breaking these curses of our nation, man. That's just something to look at.
Maccabee thought V-Bucks was a currency, man.
That's something I never heard.
New money.
Shoot, all my children players will be 50 because they ain't nothing. I mean, wonder how the mothers get that good on the game. He's 99. Oh, shoot.
I'm going to spend about 500 on some V-Bucks. That's why he's 99.
Let's go back, man. James, chapter 5, verse 7.
This is the book of James, chapter 5, and verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth, and had long patience for it, until he received the early and latter rain.
Did you say that again?
Until he received
Start over, I'm talking about from 7.
This is the book of James, chapter 5, and verse 7. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord.
He said that's what we supposed to be doing. Be patient. Come out of American ways and be patient. A lot of times, don't be in a rush. Ezra wasn't in the rush. Jeremiah wasn't in the rush. Just be patient. Go ahead.
Unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waited for the precious fruit of the earth.
What precept for husband? What precept for husband? Peter?
2 Corinthians number 2.
That's right. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 2.
And that's what's going on. The husband, the Most High coming back, what?
I'm going to be to the man.
There you go.
Big come. Big come. So make sure y'all write that down. Underline husbandman, 2 Corinthians 11 and 2.
And had long patience for it until he received the early and latter rain.
The early and latter rains. And those latter rains to finish off that. The early rains came to start your crops moving. The latter rains came for you to have a good harvest. Y'all, that's we'll go into that. That's another thing. When you do the calendar, you'll see they had early rains and they had the latter rains. Go ahead.
Verse 8, be ye also, Salakia, be ye also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
It's what?
For the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
The coming of the Lord draw near. It's coming, y'all. He said, but be patient, though. Don't be in a hurry for it to be coming, but be patient and be watchful. That's what we need to be. I can't wait, yeah. You better be able to wait, because you might be that one that, like that lady. With the melted tongue, the melted eyeball.
What is some of the patience that we waiting on, man? What precepts? Give me some precepts of the patience that we waiting on. Man, I'm talking about one precept should be jumping off y'all mind.
5 and 22.
No, that ain't it. What you
We just
saying?
gave y'all a hint.
This is 14 and 12.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Let's go to it. Revelation chapter 13, verse 9 and 10.
Man, that's the one that y'all said. We
14 and 12. I'll take 14 and 12.
You didn't say it.
14 and 12, yeah.
I said 14 and 12.
But I know what he wanted, but you know what I'm saying? I bet if he get out in the streets, he can pull what's name, 13-9.
Read it up.
13-9 and 10.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
You got to always read 9 with 10 on this one. Read.
He that leadeth into captivity
Mm-hmm.
shall go into captivity.
Read.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Because this is what's going to happen to the other nation. We must, guess what, beat they bust into submission. We must, guess what, they led us into captivity. Guess what, they going to go into captivity. They're going to go into hardcore bondage just like we got. We're gonna pay them back double, man.
Right.
It's got to happen to them. Ain't no way around it, man. Most High God said, guess what? All praises, man. Read.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's what man, y'all saying. This is the patience. This is our patience. We're supposed to be patiently waiting on.
Yeah.
Some people ain't patiently waiting on. They probably a little timid. They don't want to. They just to check it out, man. Let them, Lord, let them hide his talent. Let them hide his talent in the sand. I take it for them.
Right. Some of them want to double dip. Hold on, sis. He take his time. I might got time to run back into the scene right quick. Right back.
Let me get that other Revelations 14 and 12.
That's solid.
What you want?
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 14 and verse 12. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushua.
Yeah, we was gonna go there too anyway. But stop right there. We're gonna go back there later on. Let's go back to Revelations 18. And no. But the Revelations 11 right quick and 7.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them,
Uh-huh.
and shall overcome them and kill them.
He said, and when we finish our testimony, that's the time we had got the chains cut off our neck. This is going into the time when we would, when we 350 years and we're going to be waking up. This is what this prophesying about. Go ahead.
Hold up, what is the bottomless pit? Do any brother know? It says the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit. Europe. Say it again, Europe. In the dark ages. So brothers got to write that down. Y'all have to write that down, man. Like
Malachi.
literally, because y'all won't remember it.
Where is it at? A good one. Malachi 1 and 4 with Edom.
Do you know what year, good boy?
You want me to know what? Em?
What year?
What year did they ascend out of the bottomless pit?
Out of the bottomless pit. I don't.
1453. That's when they ascended out of, meaning when Esau came back into power. Basically, when the Renaissance ages came back on the, started on the planet Earth.
When did they go in the bottomless pit? What year?
We just talked about it a couple weeks in class in Camp 101.
The fall of Rome. When did Rome fall?
What you got?
193.
All praise.
All praise.
Why do Brother Noah know that? Maybe because he wrote it down
In his book.
in his book.
Pretty sure he did.
Hey, brothers gotta write that thing. It's too much information not for brothers not to write it down. It's just too much, man. Because brothers gonna be asked these questions. Well, what is the bottomless pit? You're gonna be like, up there, teacher, Then I'll be like, give me the mic, step on to the back.
I mean, that's done. You done. Go ahead. Read it, Revelation 11.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter
And 8.
11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
Which is America to this day. Boy, and you can't. The homosexuality. Y'all, this is not only is it pertinent that this going on in America, it's because the Most High showing you where we at. And out of Egypt, like I said, you can take the dollar bill. The homosexual is very, very, very wide open in America now.
Let me get that precept real quick. Go to for the bottomless pit also. Let's go to Revelation chapter 20 and verse 3. We'll start at verse 2. Start at verse 1, damn it. I know.
The book of Revelation, chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand.
So the Most High God actually sent a spirit out here. We know that the angels are a ministering spirit. He put a spirit out there for Esau to come back into power. Read on.
And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years.
So these are terms for who? What race? Esau. He said, and bound him 1,000 years. This is what we just broke down. When Septimius Severus took down the Roman Empire in 193 AD. Then they came back into power in 1453. Read on up.
And cast him into the bottomless pit.
And cast them into the bottomless pit, meaning what? Put them on a lower level. On the bottom of all nations. That's when we pushed them to what? To the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Read on.
And shut him up. And set a seal upon him.
And set a seal upon him. Read on.
That he should deceive the nations no more.
So the Most High God gave us a time to come back into power. Because we know when Esau's ruling, he's doing what? Deceiving all the nations. Read on.
Till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that he must be loosed a little season.
And then after that 1,000 years, now that's what we in now. Where they back in power. So brothers got to have that understanding. I know brothers be wanting to go deep. That's some deep stuff for you.
And you notice when they even do their movies, they don't go past 1,400.
Yeah, they don't.
They always in them Western. They just right at the time when Europe was coming back. Those wars at the time when they was coming back to power. When right after the Dark Ages, where they became the Iron Age, the Renaissance.
And how they, guess what? Now you say they don't go past the 1,400, but guess what? They always when they start back talking about before them, guess what they started with the dinosaurs millions of years ago.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they say millions of years ago, and they can't prove the world been around millions of years.
Or they did like that movie 10,000 BC. Bob was looking at that. I was like, what the hell? They ain't got no niggas in the past, boy. Oh, God dang, we wasn't back down. God dang.
Listen, they came from us.
No, God, boy, that's so they was still in a long time ago, boy. I said, God, they don't want us in the past, nigga. Right? They got one of us in the future. You know, they always keep one of them on the Star Trek Enterprise.
And I'm gonna tell y'all too. I was also looking at. Okay, what year your great granddad was born?
My dad was born in 28. My granddad was born in 1890.
Hold on, stop. What year was your dad or great granddad was born? Did you know? I'm talking to the older people. I'm talking to y'all women too. What year?
29.
29. I'm talking about before then.
My grandparents?
1907.
1907. Before 1907. Okay. If you look at the history, I'm gonna tell you something. Esau a little crafty, little bastard too. I'm tell y'all, talking to y'all older brothers and sisters too that searched out their father. If you look at it, all the history, it goes back from our history, our ancestors. If you go to the ancestors.com, you pay your money and all of that. Guess what? It started in 1890. Why everybody born in damn 1890, man? Do y'all see how they got our history started in 1890? That's the correlation we got to start thinking about. Like I asked all them people, I was sitting in the library and I'm reading, and you can go look at ancestors.com for free in the library. And I went through the thing. Guess what? I asked everybody around me, and everybody was. Guess what? There's an Israelite. Guess what? Everybody told me 1890. I said, damn, why everybody started in 1890?
There's a lot of stuff going on.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because that's when they first did a census on us in 1890. That's the reason why they said everybody was born in 1890. Because they did a census on us, man, during that time. Y'all know we don't even supposed to take census. That's not part of our custom.
They definitely trying to do it, but they want to know. We need to know. Negroes having babies out of nowhere. We just having babies pop up everywhere. We done did that everywhere. We done went to Africa. Boy, turned $1 million into about 70 million, but we it don't matter. 75, 78 of us going to Egypt. Niggas, Egypt like, man, they
like roaches out here.
God damn, boy. I thought you just invited 78. Where are all these millions? But we out there doing it, man. That's what we do. That's what we supposed to be doing. In marriage, though. Not what we doing now. We still having them, but boy, having them wrong. But let's go back.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified.
And it said, well, our Lord was crucified. What does that mean by that?
Talking about Caesar Borgia, the image.
Yes, was crucified. And his tribe is being crucified in this same city. Go ahead.
What precept?
Yeah.
But you got no. They talking.
Say it again, Brother
I
Charles.
heard it.
They talking real.
3 and who?
48. You had
praise.
3 and
missed
40.
the 4. You missed the 4.
Y'all talking low, man. Like y'all scared, man. Look at me.
Non-confident. Man, speak bold. If you should just be wrong, y'all act like y'all scared of rejection, man. God dang, I know y'all have been in the club with girls. I told you no. Dude.
Still didn't stop
Oh,
one.
God, man. It's out there right now.
No, we gotta read it right quick.
Yeah.
It's precept for everything. I just seen it too. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 26. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. So like you say, as you getting the understanding, like you say, as you building up your spirit, build up that confidence as well.
Yeah. I be scared if I'm gonna be wrong. There's somebody just tell you, no, that ain't it. All right, what's going on?
You know you got that one partner, man. That one girl, she rejected, man. I was 227, the same dude. They was at the Lester and at the little party. This dude, he hit the girl with the one line, she rejected him. He go and hit the girl, He go to the next girl, hit her with the same line, and get the one line. Guess what? He wasn't scared of reject. He kept trying. That's what he said.
Just in case I'm wrong, ain't nobody heard me be wrong. Be wrong sometime, man. Just say it. Go ahead. Let's get back.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half,
That's 350 years.
and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves.
And that's why you got these graves. They don't got none marked and none of that stuff. They wasn't doing them but scooting us out the street and building America around us. Go ahead.
Verse 10, and they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry,
And do what?
and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another,
They should do what?
and shall send gifts one to another.
Yeah, they be sending each other, guess what? Scrotums, ears, collecting this stuff. Happy. When they see the news, man, they happy with it. They just like we do. You know how we watch the news, but like, man, I sure hope that ain't a Negro. Then they show the face and you go, yeah. Okay, that's a white boy. So what you think when they seeing us all the time on the news? They being happy, them dumb niggas, laughing and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna buy you a drink. You see this dumb nigga there? Passing gifts to each other. Go ahead.
Because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
What are these two prophets?
Elijah.
That's tormenting them right now. We doing it to this day.
Who you say, Brother Fred?
Elijah. And
Who got it?
I'm just shaking my head. You don't even have to
I just
think
want to
about
see
it.
who else he was going to say.
What
What you got, Brother Noah?
He said it. Speak bold, man.
Israel and Judah.
That's right.
There you go.
Northern and the southern tribe.
There you go. There's these two prophets right there.
Because we know, like we say, the only prophets are who? Or Israel. According to what? Amos chapter 2 and verse 11. Like we say, you have to be able to have discernment in those things. What two prophets? And be able to link up the precepts as well.
Where'd you get to? What verse?
Verse 10.
Yeah, go
At
ahead.
the bottom. Because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them.
That's 350 years. This is the time when we started coming back as a nation of people, starting to come back to remembrance. That's about around what, 1969 is what they say. There's 1969 when they, like when you go to Virginia statue or the Virginia, what you call that, it's historical site. Go ahead.
And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw.
And what?
And great fear fell upon them which saw.
I don't care what y'all think y'all know or what y'all don't know, but guess what? They fear when we out there in them streets. Look at it all over America. It's feared upon America. They hearing about it. Y'all don't think they think about it, I can promise you. It's a lot of our people don't be knowing, but they know. When they go downtown in every city, they hearing. You heard them story about, you heard about the Israelites? That's why they got a lot of questions when they come. Our people don't, but they got a lot of questions all the time. They have more conversation with you because they trying to figure out what the hell. They fear. Then we talk to them like, they said I'm not crowd. Guess we boldly say you're not crowd.
Let's get the precept. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 9. Because it was always prophesied that, like we say, we go into captivity, then the Most High God sent what? Prophets to wake us back up, to breathe back into us the breath of life, meaning the commandments. Read that out.
Ezekiel 37 and 9. Then said he unto me, prophesy to the wind, prophesy, son of man, and say to the wind, thus said the Lord God, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live.
So when the word comes out to us, it instantly, guess what? Catches our spirit in view of the elect. Read on out.
So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came unto them, and they lived, and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army.
It says, so I prophesied as he commanded me, like the Most High God giving us instruction. and breadth came into them. What is the breadth? Going into what? Law, statutes, commandments. With Genesis 2 and 7, 2nd Ezra chapter 3, verse 5. And they live. Going into what? Proverbs chapter 7, verse 2. Keep my commandments and live. Hey, you can just boom, 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 boom. Trick that thing all the way down. And they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. That's what they seeing, like Captain McAfee just said.
Yeah.
When they seeing us out there, that's why it's very important that brothers be in order. Because like we said, an army has order. And that brings what? Great fear upon the nations, man. Talking to the brothers on this point. It brings great fear, man. Reading the word, speaking the word bold. Man, these things are very important in this truth, man. Very important, man. Make sure, brother, write those precepts down.
Yeah, and that's one thing they want to see Negroes out of order. But when they see it, men in order, that scares them a lot. Hold on, something happened because they know black people can't stick together. Something wrong here. They scared. That's how you fear. Go ahead. Finish that.
Hold on for a second, right quick. Because I don't want y'all to pass it because I'm on verse 10 on them two prophets. Y'all make sure y'all write down 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 13. Make sure y'all write those things down. Because this is the only time, like, read there right quick. 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 13.
This is the book of 2 Kings chapter 17 and verse 13. Yet the Lord testified against Israel and against Judah.
That's going against the sin. He said, Lord testified against Israel and Judah. That's the northern and the southern tribe. Man, read.
By all the prophets.
By all the prophets, man, because we are the only two. Guess what? Even in the split, before the split, we was the only nation, or the only two nations that had a prophet. They had prophets, man. Read.
And by all the seers, saying, turn ye from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I have commanded your fathers, and which I have sent to you by my servants, the prophets.
So this is like you say, going into the prophets was going into what? The northern and southern tribe. It never talked about no other nation that was the prophets.
No, praise.
Go ahead, Lord.
Let's go back to let's go to Matthew 24 and 6.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Hey, what?
Must come to pass.
Because y'all seeing it right now. There's wars and rumors of wars. This ain't finna stop. It's funny because we've been in all these wars and you never heard the word war so much. Now that Russia in it. You know understand? We just pull the truth back. But you weren't hearing about war and nothing like it was just, we was in war. And now, war. They gone to war. They gone to war. Man, and then go ahead. You hearing about it. Go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
See that you be not troubled, because these things got to come to pass. They got to happen, man. Go ahead.
But the end is not yet.
But it ain't here yet. The end ain't here yet. You're going to see wars. You're going to see rumors of wars. Because you had all kind of wars rumored. You got wars rumored right now. China going to take over Taiwan.
And on the smaller note, a lot of times we think of war like, also, it's wars against country, but Esau do a lot of wordplay that we don't realize that he do.
Yeah, we have wars
It's
now.
war on drugs, war on poverty. Do we not think this is a war? Because it's a struggle between the nation of Israel and all other nations. It's going into the war on poverty. It's going to the war on drugs, man.
That's about us, too. It's already war declared on us. We just don't know it.
Exactly, and that's what it boils down to, man. When these wars and rumors of wars, all these wars this is concerning us, man. It's all concerning us. Just like when you think about Ukraine, guess what? They ain't worried about the Israelites over there. They worried
No
about the
doubt.
Edomites.
They don't give a dang about none of that going on. Negro, if you niggas, you can't get out. No, how you gonna tell me to stay in your country? This your country. Y'all should be, let us get out first. You know what I'm saying? This your country. Defend your stuff.
They're not gonna do it.
Nah, y'all, they can let them out, but they can't. Y'all, we gonna hold y'all in there.
Why?
Boy, that's crazy.
Because guess what? That's a curse on us that we got to be scattered, man, in the four corners, man. We got to be out there every day. So guess what? It was they can't do it if the Most High God don't allow them to do it. They know they got us under servitude. That's why they got to keep us. No, y'all can't go. They can go, but no, we can't go, man. Why? Because the war is on us. It's always against us. And then going to boil down to it, man.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Finish it up.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
They the beginning of sorrows. We start in the beginning of sorrows. They're going to enter into this Jacob's trouble. Go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
And if y'all ain't prepared to die for this truth, y'all ain't in this truth. Some of y'all can sound, y'all can look all you want, play the game all you want. It's gonna be a time you're gonna be put to the test. See if you ready to take it. See if you ready to take the bullet for your brother. See what happens. Or y'all be the first Negro diving under something. Oh no. You better get down. This what y'all got. This ain't no game. This ain't show and tell. I got on fringes. The police ain't down there holding their hand on their gun for nothing. Only reason that Negro ain't shot you because the Most High won't let it. That's it.
And in the back, I'll go with scriptures. Let's back him up. Let's go to Acts chapter 7, man. This is a prime example on how we can be, guess what? We can die for this truth. Acts chapter 7, started verse 54.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 54.
Now, let me explain to you right quick. This is right after Stephen just gave the history of Moses. Just gave the history about King Solomon, King David. He just gave his history, man. And guess what? This wasn't pertaining to them, and they couldn't take it. Read that out.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 7 and verse 54. When they heard these things, they were cut to the heart, and they gnashed on him with their teeth.
So they got mad at Stephen because he was breaking down the history of Israelites. What we do on the Sabbath. We break down the history, go out and teach and prophesy in the Most High God's name. This is what we literally do. This is literally happened to Stephen. They was mad. They was gnashing of teeth. Jump down to verse 57.
And what he was doing, he was just repeating the Bible.
That's it.
Repeating the Bible. Right.
Verse 57, then they cried out with a loud voice and stopped their ears.
Read.
And ran upon him with one accord.
So now they ran upon him because guess what? Stephen was still teaching, man. Why did they stop their ears? They stopped their ears because he was silent. No, they stopped their ears because he was studying, cutting them with the scriptures, right? Read.
And cast him out of the city and stoned him.
And they did what?
And stoned him.
And they stoned Stephen, man, because he was teaching the word. Like you say, if you ain't ready to die for this truth, then you not in the truth, man. Read.
And the witnesses laid down their clothes at the young man's feet, whose name was Saul.
Read.
And they stoned Stephen, calling upon God, and saying, Lord Yahushua, receive my spirit.
Read.
And he kneeled down and cried with a loud voice, Lord, lay not this sin to their charge. And when he had said this, it's like he fell asleep.
And he gave up the ghost, man.
Gave it up. And I don't think you're too pretty to be in this truth neither, because I'm too pretty to die. You know Muhammad Ali looked. Stephen they looked at Stephen. He said he appeared to them as an angel, face of an angel. So we gotta be ready, man. Y'all think this is no game. This is no joke, man. This is real deal, man. This is the real deal. This ain't no movie. Ain't no script. They got a script for it. It's right here.
You're seeing it even with what? Even with Paul. Paul was beaten for this truth. Like we say, we know we defend ourselves, but a lot of times, hey, brothers and sisters, we're going to go through some things in this walk, man.
And like you say, even with Brother Paul, even with Brother Paul. There wasn't the other nation that was ready to kill Paul. They were our people.
Our own people.
It wasn't just the other nation. It was our own people, man. When they caught Paul in Acts chapter 21.
And you know who we want to fight us.
Let's get that account too. Let's go to Acts chapter 16 and verse 21.
Oh, they were doing some nigga stuff, boy. They were whooping Paul and them, then letting them out of jail. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Book of Acts 16 and 21. And teach customs which are not lawful for us to receive, neither to observe, being Roman.
Being what?
Being Roman.
Read on up.
And the multitude rose up together against them.
Against who?
Against them.
Read on up.
And the magistrates rent off their clothes and commanded to beat them.
And commanded to do what?
To beat them.
So that Paul and Silas, read on up.
And when they had laid many stripes upon them, they cast them into prison, charging the jailer to keep them safe.
So we see that, guess what? Paul was beaten and thrown into prison for this truth as well. You know, unlike Stephen that was stoned and put to death, though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get another kind of shoulder with the Jews. Let's go to Acts 23 and 12.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 23 and verse 12. And when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together.
Certain of the who?
Certain of the Jews banded together
Uh-huh.
and bound themselves under a curse,
Saying what?
saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul.
So not only was he in prison, but they wanted to kill Paul, just like they did Stephen,
Mm-hmm.
man. And it was certain of the who? The Jews, man.
Yep, that's what it was. Not them other ones. Our own people.
They said it was my acquaintance, my enemy was my own. That son. Yeah.
Let's go to Revelations 18:10.
And even pretty tough because, like you say, even with Paul, man, the Syrian soldiers had to stop, man, had to stop the people of Israel from killing Paul, man. They wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
God put the charge on like now on the other nation to stop this stuff from
That's right.
happening,
You have
man.
to get basically what you would call today a police escort from the other nation.
And that's the only reason right now we under their protection because the Most High holding back these other nations till we started getting there to get this truth out. Then what's gonna make a lot of people come is when we start falling. You know, a lot of times we don't want to give nothing until somebody get killed anyway.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour
How long?
For in 1 hour
Uh-huh.
is thy judgment come.
Now, remember we done went to a day? Now it's boiled down to what? 1 hour. That's all it take right now. What's the thing to push them bombs right now? They gonna go up high, go in that outer space and come right out of there. 1 hour. That's all it take. And America think they're gonna be pushing all them defense systems. And yeah, the defense system gonna knock down some bombs, but guess what? They gonna miss some too. Cause you know what's they got a defense system right there too. Ukraine. Ukraine was using their defense system. I was looking at that. They was talking about how the defense system was lined up. Yes, it caught a lot of missiles, but guess what? Some of them got through. So America ain't gonna have the protection they think they gonna have. Go ahead.
Verse 11, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her.
And the merchants of the earth said what?
Shall weep and mourn over her.
Why you think they gonna be mourning? Because they making all their money. Then my money starts going down. It's gone. Go ahead.
For no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Ain't nobody who gonna be buying it. We buy everything. We don't produce nothing no more. I remember when I was young, a lot of stuff was made in the USA. Try. Go home, try to find something in your house that was made in the USA. Try.
And if they do make it in the USA, but they put a big, oh, it was made in America. They
No
put a
doubt.
broadcast that it was made over there.
They talking about ain't no jobs. No, because you don't even make warehouse to build and stuff. We just get it from them.
And then they tell us it costs too much to make it over here. It don't cost too much to make it over here, man.
But then they against child labor because that's a boy. I'm telling you, boy, these folks something else, man. Go ahead.
Verse 12, the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of precious wood and of brass and iron and marble.
And marble. Let's go to Ezekiel 26 and 15.
Hey, wearing over
Yeah. Yeah, that's the first time he went to that other Bible, boy. Yeah. You need to transfer that stuff, man.
There's over 8 years of transfer. You just can't do that in one day.
You see, I keep mine on the table. I don't even use this.
That's what I've been doing, though. Stuff take time, man. Ezekiel what?
Ezekiel 26:15. Yeah, 'cause I go back when I used to at home. I go to that old Bible. Got more stuff.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 26 and verse 15. Thus said the Lord God to Tyrus, shall not the owl shake at the sound of thy fall, when the wounded cry, when the slaughter is made in the midst of thee?
When the slaughter is made in the midst of thee. Go ahead.
Then all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones, and lay away their robes, and put off their broidered garments. They shall clothe themselves with trembling. They shall sit upon the ground, and shall tremble at every moment, and be astonished at thee.
When it's all this trembling, how the earth gonna tremble? Not bombs. Gonna be shaking up everything. Go ahead.
Verse 17, and they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and say to thee, how art thou destroyed?
He gonna be crying. How y'all get that? How did America fall? How? At last. It's like we gonna be saying, raise it. We gonna be having them up. Burn it up. Go ahead.
How art thou destroyed? That was inhabited of seafaring men.
That's why when you get on your dollar, if y'all look on your dollar up under that pyramid, what is the pyramid surrounded by? Water. Sea. That's what they go by, the law of water. Maritime law. Meaning we all over everybody oceans. It's like they trying to get China. Yeah, China, you move. Nigga, that's called the China Sea. How you gonna be talking about we just gonna be over there? I wish you would if I had a sea named after my country. Let Atlantic Ocean be called America's Sea.
And he's using Tyrus. I know we covered it last week. Remember, when y'all go and do the geography, that's why it's very important. Look these ancient places up. You see that Tyrus was an ancient city that was surrounded by water. They had a lot, Tyrus. They were surrounded and controlled basically the trade throughout the trade water.
And that's what happens right now. What happens when what we do? Control the water trade market. What happens when the people couldn't get them ships in? Prices went up.
Just the gas alone.
All that stuff go down, man. It's going down. The Bible been talking about this. This ain't nothing new. Like you said, ain't nothing new under the sun. We always think everything new. So, Joe was probably playing PlayStation back in the day. I'm just saying.
The renowned city, which was strong in the sea, she and her inhabitants, which caused their terror to be on all that hunt it. Now shall the owls tremble in the day of thy fall. Yea, the owls that are in the sea shall be troubled at thy departure.
All the merchants round about, which is what we was reading in 18. Go ahead.
But thus said the Lord God, when I shall make thee a desolate city, like the cities that are not inhabited.
Like the cities that are not inhabited. This is what America gonna look like.
When I shall bring up the deep upon thee, and great waters shall cover thee. When I shall bring thee down with them that descend into the pit, with the people of old time.
With the people who?
With the people of old time.
Their own answers. Go ahead.
And shall set thee in the low parts of the earth, in places desolate of old.
They're going into slavery, but it's something. Go ahead.
With them that go down to the pit, that thou be not inhabited. And I shall set glory in the land of the living. And I will make thee a terror, and thou shalt know, and thou shalt be no more. Though thou be sought for, yet shalt thou be Salaki, yet shalt thou never be found again, said the Lord God.
That's why we got to rule with a rod of iron. Because when we rule, a lot of times we got to have other nations still trying to, wishing they was going to be, oh, we making money with, no, you in slavery in this kingdom. Y'all live deliciously last kingdom. They going to be wanting America. Well, America came back. Boy, we going to be coming right out of nowhere. Buy y'all with that rod. No, I don't. I bet you don't now. So we're going to have to rule with a rod of iron. Everybody ain't going to be just happy. They ain't just going to be happy to be having to serve. Go, you can't get one of them right now to come up there and bow their head down to you sometime, let alone bow down to you. Let's go back.
Let's get there right quick. Let's go to Psalms chapter 149. 149 and verse 6.
The book of Psalms, chapter 149, verse 6. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen.
To do what up?
To execute vengeance upon the heathen.
Read on up.
And punishments upon the people.
So it's our job, Lord, will we make it to execute judgment upon the vengeance upon the heathen and punish the people. Read on.
To bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron.
To bind their kings with chains, meaning what? The Donald Trumps, the Roxburghs, the Bilderbergs, the Elon Musk, the Prestige, the very extreme wealthy of the nations. Read on up.
To bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron. To execute upon them the judgment written.
Read that part again.
To execute upon them the judgment written.
Because that's the judgment that's written in the book of what? Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. He that leadeth to the captivity shall what? Shall go into captivity. Read on up.
Dishonor have all his saints.
And the Most High God is telling us that what? This is an honor, man. That's upon the saints, man. It's an honor to do those things. Read on.
Praise you, the Lord.
Go ahead.
Anybody know where that come from? Yeah. That's what he was saying on the movie.
That's what he said on the movie.
I ain't sure it is. That's
He
what he
started
thought.
showing Esau.
And that is the, well, when you talk about living deliciously, how? I didn't even know this was legal. You can just build you a ship and take off on a Tuesday night and just run out of space and just chill. Where you at? What's that do with Elon Musk? I'm just going to go out to space and chill. How? He didn't think that was legal. Nigga, it's hard for us to go to Mexico. And you talking about this nigga, this, I'm finna go out of space and just float around. Boy, that's money. That's money like a mug right there, boy. Let's go back.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 13.
No. Better yet. Let me get a couple of scripts before we go there. Ezekiel, while we in Ezekiel chapter 26 and 15. No, we did that one. To 27. Go to 27 before we run out.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 27 and verse 1.
No, 25. 27 and 25.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 27 and verse 25. The ships of Tarshish did sing of thee in thy market, and thou wast replenished and made very glorious in the midst of the sea.
See, it was another name that the Chinese called America. Ship raiders or sea raiders or something they called them. And I forgot what they called them, but they knew when they seen them ships coming after a while, they knew, here they come. Well, they're finna raid and take some stuff.
Any brother know what Tarshish is today?
Spain.
Spain. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 27 and verse 25. The ships of Tarshish did sing of thee in thy market, and thou was replenished and made very glorious in the midst of the seas. Thy roars have brought thee into great waters. The east wind hath broken thee in the midst of the seas. Thy riches and thy fairs, thy merchandise, thy mariners, thy pilots, thy caulkers, thy occupiers of thy merchandise, and all the men of war that are in thee, and in all thy company, which is in the midst of thee, shall fall into the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin.
In the what?
In the day of thy ruin.
Did anybody know what that sound? What does that sound like? We started out this class always talking about this. What did he tell us always remember? What happened in the days of old? Egypt. When he brought us out of Egypt. When he brought us out of Egypt. He's talking like the same thing, but he's going to put all their stuff in the going to ruin. Just like it happened, just like the Pharaoh's children, drowned in the Red Sea. That's what they doing off the sea. I got to take this stuff, start listening and watch every little detail. Every little detail. Go ahead. Did we finish that one? Yeah, let's go back to Revelation 18.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 13. And cinnamon and odors and
No, just go down to 14. That's just more than
I want to read this last.
Okay, go ahead.
And cinnamons and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil, and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. So this is pinpointing exactly who it's talking about. Like we say, what nation of people had us in slavery? Not only that, and what nation of people has the souls of men? They literally have the souls of men over there. Because our people don't know who the hell they are. They think that Esau literally is their daddy. They think that Esau is their God, man. Go ahead.
That's what they tell them all the time. You sold your soul in the football.
That's right.
In the music industry.
And on a smaller note, guess what the soul to me also going into our last name.
Yep. Stole that.
They stole it. This is that goes into our heritage. When you see people celebrate Johnson family reunion. Nah, you giving in to this, man.
No doubt. Let's go to 14.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee.
All their riches gonna be gone. Go ahead.
And thou shalt find them no more at all.
No more at all. That's over now. But boy, our people be wanting to know. They want to know. Well, hold on, we can't live without the white man. No, the white man can't live without you. But we thinking that he done did everything when we was behind everything he ever done. That's what they don't tell you. All you got to do is stop being lazy and obey your God, and you'll start going back to what you did, using your hands, building buildings, doing stuff that we was created to do what we've been doing. Go ahead.
Verse 15, the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off for fear of her torment.
See, them other nations going to be like, they way back. No, But they're going to have to turn their back on America. Why? Because they're going to look back at it and see nothing but smoke. They can like, man, we mess around to go touch that. Ain't going to happen to us. He said they're going to stand back. No, man. Go ahead.
Weeping and wailing.
Do what?
Weeping and wailing.
Crying, though. They're going to be crying because all their money gone. All their money gone.
Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen.
America, clothed in fine linen. The greatest country in the world. The greatest country in the history of the world. I heard a dude talking about that the other day. I was like, great for who? Not us. Go ahead.
And purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones
Mhm.
and pearls. For in 1 hour,
How long?
for in 1 hour,
See, y'all, that ain't just put there for just to be saying something. You know, I always use the term like, hey man, I'll call you back. When you gonna be home? In a minute. I use a minute for everything. But the Most High not using this for he's letting you know. It's all gonna take 1 hour.
Years of building this country gonna be gone.
Down in 1 hour.
1 hour, man.
What's name told her what? I knocked this out. I built it in 3 days. They were like, man, you know how long it took for them niggas to build that? And he said, it don't matter, I'll knock it down. Knock it down. In 1 hour, it's gonna be gone, man. Go ahead.
for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships, and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off.
Let's go to Revelation. Go one page back, 17 and 4 right quick.
Because shipmaster is basically going into what Ezekiel was saying is basically a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's not literal pilot during that time because it wasn't airplanes made. So they're just going into basically a shipmaster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What you want
17 and 8.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 8.
Just start at 4. Go to 4, and then we'll skip to 8. Just read 4 and then skip to 8.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17 and verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones
Mm-hmm.
and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand,
Mm-hmm.
full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Read 5 right quick. Go ahead and read
Verse
that.
5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
America. Let's go to 8.
Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit,
There it is. Talking about the Edomites. Go ahead.
and go into perdition.
Uh-huh.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life.
Whose name was not what?
Whose names were not written in the book of
So
life.
how can Esau be saved if it's saying that? Everybody can be. No. Telling you straight off the top. Their name was never even written in it. I guess when you wanna forge something, I guess you can. If you afford it, somebody that lied to you. I guess you can. Go ahead.
Whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the
From
world.
the wind,
From the foundation of the world.
it didn't just happen. He been not wrote they ain't written in the book of life. Go ahead, man.
When, Salakia, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
And yet is. He is right there, but he ain't gonna be nothing.
Hold up. Meaning, y'all know John the Revelator was talking during this time. It says that was and is not, meaning what? During the time of the Roman that was in power during that time, but not currently is in existence when he was talking about it. Because we know that what America is what? An extension of Rome.
Yep. And he said, and is not. And yet is. Meaning that when he seen the vision, he seen where they wasn't running it, then he seen them when they what? Come back into power. There you go with that one. Let's go back to Revelations 18:17.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 18 and verse 17. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company in ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning.
And they did what?
When they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate.
And for 1 hour is she made desolate. Go ahead.
Verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for God had avenged you on her.
He avenged you on her. He avenged you. Let me show you something. Let's go to Revelation 15. Let's be included a little bit. 15 and 1.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 15 and verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels, having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of God.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire.
He said, now look, you got to understand, John is looking at what? He said, I saw it as the sea of glass mingled with fire. A sea coming up out of the sky, because the sky is also called a sea too. He said, a sea of glass mingled with fire. That's bombs coming down. That's bombs coming down. But let me show y'all something though. Go ahead, finish that up.
And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image.
He said, and of them, he said, I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Go ahead.
And over his image,
Uh-huh.
and over his mark,
Uh-huh.
and over the number of his name.
Uh-huh.
Stand on the sea of glass.
Do what?
Stand on the sea of glass.
Do what?
Stand on the sea of
It
glass,
says, stand on the sea of glass. Go ahead.
having the harps of God.
Having the harps of God. Now look, it says, stand on the sea of glass. These bombs coming from where, what I was telling y'all about. They don't take up, they go into outer space and they come down, right? He says, stand on the sea of glass. Stand on it, meaning we're going to have to be above these bombs, right? Because they're going to be coming out of outer space. We're going to have to be above these bombs. How do we get there? Let's go to Isaiah 26 and 20. See, because what is going to happen is it's only going to take an hour. That's like he said, in a twinkling of an eye. These things, then, like if you notice when these people was transferred, see what we look at it, we know what the chariots are. We know what's going on. We know what the chariots are. See, all these people think they're going to get raptured up as like that little movie that they always showing on the movie. Talking and trying to find this at the same time. Isaiah, the book and the book, Bible fine. Go ahead.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 26 and verse 20. Come, my people, enter into thy chambers and
Do what?
enter into thy chambers.
Do what?
Enter into thy
It
chambers.
said, come, my people, enter into thy chambers. Go ahead.
And shut thy door.
And shut what?
And shut thy doors.
Remember, he also said it was going to be like the what? The days of Noah, right? The days of Noah was shutting the doors, right? To what? The escape out of the floods, right? Now, these are the chariots. We come into her. Come unto the Most High God. Going back to his laws and the commandments, that's where you get the protection. So now you'll be shutting that door. Because the modern day chariots now is what? What they call what? UFOs. Come into these doors and shut these doors. Go ahead.
And shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself.
How do what?
Hide thyself.
See, now you hid from these missiles that's going to be coming down now. Because what? They're going to be coming from the sea down. Where are you going to be? In the chariot, above them, looking down at it as they drop. Y'all get that? Go ahead.
Hide thyself, as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed.
Until what?
Until the indignation be
He
overpassed.
said, hide thyself for a little moment until the indignation be overpassed. So now when you in these chariots, you looking down the bombs hit now. You hide yourself until this stuff occurs. But see, that's why it's a great thing to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Because that's where you want to be. You don't want to be outside that you do not want to be outside that boat when that flood comes. Ask them other people. Ask the rest of the world besides those that was on the boat.
Let me get the precept. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 15.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
For this we say unto you, by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep.
Uh-huh.
For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout.
With a what?
With a shout.
Read on out.
With the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God.
Uh-huh.
And the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Read on out.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them.
With who?
With them.
Uh-huh.
In the clouds.
In the what?
In the clouds.
It says, then we which were alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds. Meaning what? Saved by the chariots.
They're by the chariots above that
Right.
glass.
To meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Not literally being up there in the heavens, but what? Dwelling with the Most High. To be saved from destruction that's coming. Go ahead.
And let's go to Jeremiah 22 and 3. We almost done, y'all. I just want to get through a couple.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 22 and verse 3. Thus said the Lord, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of the oppressor, and do no wrong. Do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood in this place. For if you do this thing indeed, then shall there enter in by the gates of this house kings sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots.
What are they doing?
Riding in chariots.
How's he coming?
Riding in chariots and on horses. He and his servants and his people. But if you would not hear these words, I swear by myself, said the Lord, that this house shall become a desolation.
You see, if you don't go by the law, statutes, commandment, doing what God say do, you're not gonna be on them chariots. You're gonna be in that desolation with the rest of these other people. Why, hey, we gonna have the best seat in the house. Those that make it on this chariot you're gonna be looking at it.
Let's prove that. This is another precept for horses and chariots. Any brother know the precept? That's a good one for the chariot. We're gonna hit more home on. 2 Kings chapter 6, verse 17.
Book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes that he may see.
Open his spiritual eyes. Read on.
And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round about Elisha.
Meaning what? The chariots. The horses represents what? Power. And the Most High God coming with the chariots in power. Also going into the vehicles of the Most High God as well.
Let's go to Jeremiah 4 and 7.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 4, verse 7. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way.
Who is the destroyer of the Gentiles? Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Go ahead.
The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make thy land desolate, and thy city shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. For this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of the Lord is not turned back from us. And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes, and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets shall wonder. Then said, Aha, Lord, surely thou hast greatly deceived this people and Jerusalem, saying, Ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reacheth unto the soul. At that time shall it be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan nor to cleanse. Even a full wind from those places shall come unto me now.
See, for those that what's the name that's not keeping these laws and don't want to stay in this truth,
It's like shall come unto me, so
ain't no fan gonna be coming upon you. You gonna take this. You gonna be right in the midst of this thing. Go ahead.
Now also will I give sentence against them. Behold, he shall come up as a cloud, and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind.
They what?
as a whirlwind.
As a what?
As a
Go
whirlwind.
ahead.
His horses are swifter than eagles.
He said swifter than eagles. They like look, and when this all go down, them chariots, I can promise they can outrun the F-14 or the MiG, whatever they got them. They chariots go, they go. You see when them people be in them jets and them others be catching up to them, they be like, man, what? They gonna know how he catch me. I'm doing 35 knots. I'm going rocking 5 G-forces. And he's already on me. He was just sitting there. Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 14. O Jerusalem, wash thine heart from wickedness.
Do what?
Wash thine heart from wickedness.
Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. We got to change as a nation, period. Period, man. Go ahead.
That thou mayest be saved.
That what?
That thou mayest be saved.
That we may be saved. Go ahead.
How long shall thy vain thoughts lodge within thee?
Got to get them vain thoughts out of our heads, man. That stuff got to be cleared. Passover coming up. You want to be passed over, right? You got to clear your head, clear your mind. Can't have them old thoughts, man. And on that note, we're going to say shalom on that one. Well, I ain't say shalom, but let me get the law. Deuteronomy 15:11. Then we're going to say shalom. But we done with that class. I had to get all that out, y'all. I wasn't finna come back and do yeah.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 11. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thy hand wide unto thy brother.
See, when your people need help, man, y'all quit refusing to help people, man. God dang it. If you got a job, good. If your brother don't need help him out, man. God dang it, we can't be in this truth and then still don't want to help each other out, man.
Deuteronomy 15 and 11.
Read that one more again.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 15 and verse 11. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand wide unto thy brother.
Everybody ain't got it like you do, Negro. God dang it. And he said, he didn't say do his. He didn't say to my. He said, open your hand wide here, man. Get what you need. Go ahead.
Wide unto thy brother,
Mm-hmm.
to thy poor, and to thy needy in thy land.
Mm-hmm.
And if thy brother, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman,
Yeah, I'm gonna say that again so they'll know who we talking about.
and if thy brother, an Hebrew man or a Hebrew woman,
Nah, that's all I needed on that. I just want y'all to see there was a Hebrew man, Hebrew woman. Yo, people, man. Now, I ain't talking about these wicked Negroes who want to go buy dope. I'm talking about you people in you Israelites. Some people ain't got it like the rest of them, man. And quit having the pride to the point where you can't say you need help. Because if you ain't going to say nothing, I'm going to let you drown. I'm like, man, I've been looking at this dude fall, but you mean to tell me your pride is that much that you can't say, I need a little help. God, let's get out of that, man. Ain't none of us got it great like that. We ain't living deliciously. You live deliciously? How about you? How about you? I live sour appley. But not delicious. And on that note,